Hey guys, 4-1 here, bringing you a Weiss Schwarz battle. This is 4-1 versus. We verse our customers in these. I am Brian. I'm going to be playing my Sword Art Online deck, and I'm going to be facing my friend here.
Hey, this is Jason. I'm playing a Fate Unlimited Blade Works deck.
Yep. So our game starts off pretty standard. I'm thinking that everything's going to go well. I start off. I won the die roll. I clocked myself green just to give me early access, and I just played my regular 3-5 vanilla with the premium setup. And believe me, the two Xenons in the back is just such a good setup. A brainstorm spammable every turn and a 500 assist.
Yeah. You'll notice he hits me for 3, and 2 of the 3 are the Ilias. Ditch 1 card and then look at up to the top 4 cards in my deck. It just goes through my deck and it's really good, but as you can see, they're in my clock, so I can't use them. I get the ideal setup though with a bomb and the Rin that gives every Rin and Archer clock encore. So I bomb the beat stick and I clock encore to keep it on board.
Yeah, so now it's my turn here again, and I was like, okay, so he's at 3-5, 0-5. Optimally for, I know Unlimited Blade Works, you want to either get them at 0-6, just so they have to clock themselves to choose either if they want to use the combo for 4 victory Rin, or if they want the yellow for the Shiro. So I let them decide on that. I'd rather not decide for them. So I just generally always for Limited Blade Works, I would get them to 0-6, so they have to clock themselves, and they either choose 4 victory or the Shiro combo. And even if he does clock awkward here, I decide just to suicide, just to be safe, and force him to do his own leveling.
Yeah, so this is one of the biggest mistakes I've made. I put the level 3 for the early play combo into my level instead of the level 1. I can't remember if that was the right one. Anyways, at this point then, I decide to put in the yellows just so that I have later on a Shiro play if I need to. The Shiro combo is gives everyone 1,000 power and 1 soul, and when he reverses a opponent character, I can search my deck for a servant or master. That's after paying.
Oh, why is there so many cuts in this video?
Unfortunately, draw into the last of my Ilias.
No, you changed it in the middle of
search
the
out
game.
the Shiro for next turn. There aren't any characters I can reverse at this point, so I don't play the Shiro. That was quite unfortunate. I brainstorm just to get clean out the climax.
What do you think? What do you think, Poe?
Why is there a pause?
And just swing in.
Oh, okay, because Jason was doing something?
No, he was
pretty.
essentially like
I
that's
got
like
the
try and
setup
make it like
in my hand.
flow with the video. Just because we were trying to do it
Yeah.
while we're watching it.
Archer.
So-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
every
right.
play Rin go
Yeah,
off.
so the pause was because like he was doing something, I guess.
So I'm
in
at
the
this
video.
point just trying to hit a gate to salvage back one of my archers for next turn.
This room is
It's my
closed,
turn
sorry.
again. So I
This
talked
room's
to
closed,
three
sorry.
again. If you need those, and I have multiple places
No,
to
no, no,
We gotta redo the last part. I just had to brainstorm. Just to go through my deck. I noticed I hit a lot of climax.
The original footage of it.
And I do want more level 1 to
Hit it
try.
for 5.
Hit 2 obvious. Which
Climax.
is way not good for me at the moment. My deck is way too thick to have this level climaxes. So I switch out.
I mean, that game was for you to lose. You get so many. I know.
Basilica.
And the other is it has the same ability that gains 500 for every other avatar or net, but I can accelerate 1 to gain the ability that if she reverses a character, I get to salvage 1, which is a pretty good board at the moment because all he has is level 0, so I can afford to do this to salvage. I do have the combo for Yuki in my hand as well, which is it's a 1k 1 gold bar. On attack is pay 1, ditch 1, and I can search for 2 avatar or net characters. I accelerated, and I was about to attack with the Yuki, but I remembered I should wait to see if I hit any climaxes. I just start swinging in. I swing in with the Elizabeth, and it goes through. And go to salvage. I'm debating what I want to salvage at this point. There's nothing really I needed. I actually really wanted a backup just to keep him alive. But I remembered that I can just search it off Yuki. So I just grabbed the Elizabeth just for fodder for the Yuki. And I decided to ditch the Yuki with Elizabeth for the Yuki to search out 2 characters. I got the backup, which is what I really wanted, and I thought I screwed up because I wanted the level 2, and I saw it right there, and I was like, okay, pretty good.
Yeah.
So my deck really not heavily relies on the level 2. I just like the level 2 because it gains markers. When it reverses a character, I choose Avatar or Net from my waiting room, put it under it as a marker, and it gains 1.5 power. Essentially, I just make a brick wall at level 2 that he has to try and get over with either early plays or climax combos. So I make him expend resources on something that was generally free for me anyways.
So I don't have the archer in hand. This is looking pretty grim for me. I draw into another climax after my initial draw into one more climax. I brainstorm trying to find an archer. At this point, it's a very small chance that I'll level with an archer. So I'm just debating what to do, and my hand is pretty subpar other than the Shiro in hand. So I know that I'll be able to get at least my combo off. What comes in next is not good. So I decide trying to hit another climax so I can fix my hand a little bit. I do hit the climax, and I think I foolishly go for the archer even though it's a very small probability that I'll be able to get the early play off.
Sorry about that, guys. So there was a cutoff. So essentially what happened there was he attacked with one of the Rins and decided to clock encore it, and the Shiro went through and got his search off. Sorry about the cutoff. It went back to my turn.
You'll notice I only have 2 stock. I only swung with 2 characters. That's because I wanted the climax back in my waiting room. This is very debatable. It took me a long time. That's probably why they cut that turn. But yeah, I think I'm going back in with 7 climaxes with 1 gate in my hand.
Yeah, so I played my level 2, which is the wall that I was telling you guys about. I put it in front of the Shiro just to get rid of the problematic Shiro because Elizabeth can take care of the Rins. I was kind of worried for a backup just because I had not really much assist on the level 2-1. Having the 2-1 hit ones, she gains 1.5, which is pretty decent. So she goes to 8-5, and then I have the backup, which essentially makes her 10-5. So I was just really hard debating on trying to overextend to not fear for the backup. I decided to play the 2K1 combo on the 2-1 and use the Xenon to give her another 1,000. I use the accelerated ability as well just to salvage some more, which is pretty bad of me. I shouldn't have done that because it will cost me not to be able to get a marker because I counted the amount of climaxes in my waiting room. It was, I believe, 4 or 5, and I knew that I had the rest of them in the deck, which one of them was a gold bar. I was kind of hoping not to trigger it with the attack, but I ended up triggering it, so I wasn't able to get that early marker, which what I really initially wanted it for. It was a pretty hard setback. I was really contemplating not to do it, but I decided to go with it because I did have the backup, and she was going to be 8-5 on my opponent's turn anyways with the Xenon in the back. The only thing I initially had to worry about was the Rin with the Resonate ability to blow up something in my back row. I was really hoping he didn't have that. I didn't see it all game, which is something that I was worried about. But I figured if he was going to do it, he would have done it a lot earlier. And I just kept swinging here, and I triggered another climax. Made me kind of sad. This is where climax galore starts happening for me.
So in terms of level or damage, I think I'm winning at this point. However, I'm completely at a disadvantage because of my hand. I was fully prepared. I wasn't fully prepared to not have the early play Rin on board. So it's for victory Rin if the dual wielding bowman archer and for victory Rin are both in my levels. She gets a -1 in my hand. So I clock, and at this point, I don't know what to do. Like the combo, the early play usually is not a problem for me. So this being a new deck, I didn't know what to do. I have the level 2 level support and the resonate target. The only problem is I only have 2 stock, so I would be using all of my stock to blow up one of his back row. I felt like it wasn't that great of a play, so I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna try and set up for level 3 and hope for the best. Do as much damage as possible, so I move up everyone, I think. And I keep the climax in hand for the Great Date for a Date Rin combo. At this point, I realize that one stock that I could have gained if I attacked with all 3 characters in my previous turn would have given me a much better point for to set up my level 3 game. So it's the trade-off that you have to use, I guess. So just swinging in there and just giving him a empty field so that I potentially could cancel a little bit better. And I salvage the 4-Date Rin to set up for next turn.
So I got the marker for the early play, which is, or not the early play, sorry, for the 2-1, which is something I really, really wanted. But during my turn, I was level 2 with 5 damage, or 5 damage, yes. I decided not to clock, instead brainstorm, just to thin out my deck because I hit a lot of climaxes, and there I go with another 2. So I search out my level 3s, because at this point I'm just generating free stock. I had to play no cards from my hand, just generating that stock. I decided to just ditch the Suicider and one of the Kyritos to search because I decided I have 2 of them in my hand, which is essentially all I need. I have my finisher. All I need to do is get the climax for the select combo. So I just played the climax and just started swinging in. Just triggered another climax. As you guys can see, a trigger climax is way too much. And I passed my turn to Jason here. I was happy all the damage went through. He leveled to level 3. The only thing I was worried about though was the climax for Like a Date Rin. Because I know it burns a lot and I've gone through a lot of my climaxes already. I'm not happy.
So at this point, draw another climax. I think this is a theme for all of us. Anyways, I just look through my climaxes because the effect for Great Day for a Date Rin is I can pay 2 if the correct climax is on board, and I can deal X damage to my opponent. X equals the number of climaxes in my waiting room. So I count there, and I realize at this point that I don't have enough stock to pull off the effect twice. But I wanted as much damage as I could, so I played a second one.
Not realizing he had no rest target.
Right.
I decided, you know what, you could have that back.
That's a nice guy.
Yeah.
We were both, I think, pretty tired at this point, but new deck and fun game, so he let me take it back. Debating whether or not to ditch another climax to give another 1 damage for the effect, the climax combo. Decided against it. Oh.
Yeah, here I was counting his climaxes to see if he has it. I counted, I believe, like 4. I was like, there's still 4 left. Yeah, I
Not
probably
knowing
did
I
have
had
it.
2 in hand.
Yeah. In my hand, as you saw in the previous turn, I did have the 2-1 Leafa backup, which allows me to look at the top card of my deck. If it's an Avatar net, I get to add it to my hand and then ditch a card. I had completely forgotten about it. As you will see, I decided to not use it, which would have cost me the game.
Yep, me just checking the climaxes again. Decide to pay it out.
He pigs me for 4 and eat it because I told you guys I've triggered climaxes.
And hit him for 3, he cancels, and I can't do the effect again, so I just swing for a 4. And it's
So
way too
at that
much.
point, I remembered I had the Leafa backup to use. Forgot about it. I was asking if I could probably take it back, but I decided no. I already started shuffling, and I just kept going with it.
I would have told you that you take it back.
It's fine. Yep. So here my 2-1 is now huge. She has 3 markers under her, and she's gonna be swinging at the 3s with no problem. She's just gonna get in there.
Yeah. So Brandon has to cancel this damage or
Or
else.
I lose.
Yeah.
So I have 2, 3, kind of sad, and 4. Climax on the 4.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. But then my refresh damage. Of course, guys, another climax.
Yeah. I'm not sitting any prettier because I'm out 5 climaxes in waiting room, 1 climax in hand. So I only have 3 climaxes left with a pretty thick deck.
Yeah. So here I am at 3-5. I was like, what do I do? I think I wanted to do the clock kick. I remember I can't get enough power to run over like a date run.
I think you can. I think they were just 10.
The 10K?
10K each.
Oh, sweet. I could have got over 1. But I decided healing is more important at this time, just because, again, I am out a lot of climaxes.
Yeah, I think that was a good play.
Yeah, I decided just to go for the heal and just to brainstorm. And I hit another climax. So I decide, you know what, I'll just get another healer. Hopefully I live to play that healer. I have to discard a card. I discard the Elizabeth. She's not going to be doing nothing much for me at the moment. So at this point, as you can see, I have no stock, so people say I might be really decompressed. So the way I would like to sort of make my deck is, at level 2, I generate stock and also have the markers under her, so that's in a way compression because it's not going back into the deck at all. There are 4 cards under her, which essentially makes my deck now a 46 card deck, which is what I really like about the markers. I can just gain under her. As you can see, now I'm going to get another marker under her, so that's now 5 cards out of my deck that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I got really lucky. Brian, for some reason, didn't put the back row support in front of one of the silicas, and so we traded instead of him having a full board for some reason.
I would rather have it on the giant 2-1 instead. I decided even if you start crashing into me, at that point I have to sack the silica, so I'll just play the other silica next turn anyways. I decided it's worth him swinging at me for more damage than it is for me to even save my creatures and him siding.
Okay. So at this point, I have the Shiro combo. Unfortunately, he doesn't get big enough to run over anyone, so I just play it in hopes of trying to deal as much damage as I can.
So I cancel there. And I eat that. So
is that
all
3
that
seconds?
damage I healed, I just ate again. Makes me kind of sad. And he's essentially, it looks pretty bad for me at this point. I have to either cancel this and really hope, or I do have the healer, so I can afford to refresh, but I have to really hope that he cancel, which I do, and pretty lucky of me.
So yeah, this is not looking good at all. I have a Shiro on board. Where did I come from?
You just played it because you didn't have a full board, and oh no, I think you decided where is it from, and that's when you triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, the reason why I did crash was just to leave a spot open because I have to heal. As you can see here, I didn't even think twice about it. I just played her and healed. I'm literally just crawling myself out of that. I put that there so I'm able to refresh. I count my climaxes, and again, I have 2 in there. So I search out the Celica, the 3-2, and I search out the Elizabeth just to save me some stock because I'm gonna hopefully heal 1 if I'm able to cancel and have that free 1. And of course, I hit a climax, another 1, so I have no choice. Either win here or I lose here. I don't have a climax to do any extra damage. So I swing with the markers, with the marker Yuki Asuna. I hit for 1, it goes in, and then I put a marker under her. I swing with the other Celica, and for 5, and of course he cancels that one. I'm kind of disappointed because at this point I know, like, to me my maximum output is 3, and if I hit 1, that's 4. He's gonna be at 3-6 or 3-5, and he's just gonna finish me. But I hit another climax, and it deals another 5 damage, and it goes in, and and I win.
I mean, like, that's Weiss for you, right?
Yes. So 401, 1 win, customers 0.
Ooh.
Ultimate value.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you again with the next one. Bye bye.